I went to a website called Psychology Today, and I picked out 3 tests. And I haven't taken these yet before now, so we're gonna do it, and we're gonna see what happens. The first one that I'm gonna take is called "Can you be an entrepreneur?" and it says 20 minutes, so we'll see how fast I can do it. But it basically says, "Are you curious about whether you would make it as an entrepreneur? Wondering how you would cope and what you would be like if you decided to start your own business?" And just a side note, I do want to eventually start my own business. I want it to be fitness related. A goal for a lot of fitness professionals is to end up working for themselves. Right now, I work for a health club, and I'm getting my experience working with clients, working with individuals, helping them achieve goals and stay consistent with a personal fitness regimen. And I want to take that and make it my own someday in some form. But this test I thought would be a good way for me to see if that's something that I'd be able to do, because it says examine the following statements and indicate to what degree they apply to you. In order to receive the most accurate results, please answer each question as honestly as possible. So we're going to get rocking. All right. So looks like we got strongly agree, somewhat agree, or disagree, and strongly agree. So the first question is, being average in anything is a terrible thought for me. You know, I agree with that. I'm not going to say I strongly agree, because I know what state I'm in right now, and I know that that's not the eventual state that I want to be in. But I think that agreeing with that statement is a good step in the right direction, especially if you feel like personally you're not meant to be anything, or you feel like you're, I don't know, not cut out. I think it's a good mindset to agree with that. Being average in anything is a terrible thought for me. Time is money. I somewhat agree. I could spend more time being productive and doing things that are gonna increase my earning potential, for sure. So I definitely agree with that. Competition keeps me alive. I'm gonna say that I somewhat agree. Definitely. It depends on what situation you're in, what environment you're in, but you can't be comfortable all the time. And the next question says, unless you are walking with a destination in mind, you are losing time. That's a really good one. Whew. I'm going to say I agree with that, because if you're not aiming for a goal, then what are you aiming for? I don't know. If you didn't write something out and you're not thinking for yourself and starting to think about your future, I don't know how productive you're being with your time. All right. If a coworker is performing better than me, I have to outdo him or her. And these questions, the answers to these questions say exactly like me, a lot like me, somewhat like me, a little like me, and not at all like me. So for this one, I'm going to have to go with a little like me. If I look at my coworker and see that they're doing better than me, I'm not going to have any negative thoughts about that person. I'm going to, appreciate what they're doing and look at what they're doing and see if there's any way that I can improve how I'm working, how I'm performing. But I don't see it as like I have to outdo him or her, and maybe that's something that I should have. Maybe that's an attitude I should have, and that would help me to get into a better headspace for business. Making conversation is something I'm good at. I'm gonna say that's a lot like me. I like talking to people. I find myself to be sociable and outgoing. Some cases are different than others, right? If I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable, I think everyone can agree. In certain environments, they're more comfortable and they're more likely to make good conversation with people. Start a podcast, you know what I mean? It helps. I strive to fill the needs of people. I'm going to say that's somewhat like me. I've worked in retail under a boss, and I'm going to be working as a physical therapist assistant in the future, working obviously under the supervision of a physical therapist. So there are, and dealing with patients and helping people with their needs. And so I do feel like I belong in that kind of business, helping people. And so I'm going to say, I'm actually going to change my answer. I'm going to say that's a lot like me. I strive to fill the needs of people. I can follow through on plans for sure. Now, that goes back to what I was talking about earlier, the list, right? If you write something down on a list, you're going to want to follow through with that list, follow through with that plan, and accomplish it. And so I'm going to say that it's somewhat like me because I don't always, as a human, I don't always hit the mark, but I'm trying to. And that's my goal. Next question. I enjoy making new business contacts. For me, the way that that relates to me, I guess that would be getting new clients and meeting new individuals in the gym that I can help work out and help keep them on track for their goals. And so I'll say that I enjoy that. Next one, this is pretty funny. Taking risks is easy for me. This is a little like me. Definitely, that's something that I could say that I could work on. Taking risks, right? Man, like imagine how much success that you'd have if you just did, you know, did what you want to do without worrying about what's going to happen. And that, of course, take that with a grain of salt, right? Everyone's situation is different. I think I need to take more risks and be more uncomfortable about things. So I'm putting that answer a little like me because I want to change that, make a change with that. I miss deadlines. I'm gonna say, um, not at all like me. Um, Even if I just think if you have a date that something needs to be due right now, especially for school, I'm trying to keep on target with all my assignments. I think that helps you with productivity. If you've got that deadline looming in your head, and of course, procrastination is a real thing, and I have it, but I tend to find that I get stressed out if I know that a date's coming up and I have to finish something. So I'm going to say that. So when I have a problem to solve, I immediately think the next question of all the people, friends, family, friends of friends who might be able to help me. Interesting. That's a good one. I do find that I that is a little like me, definitely. Um, Trying to see if I can think of an example off the top of my head. So if I have a friend, So I have a friend who is really crazy good with computers. Right? He's a computer engineer, and whenever I have an issue with my stuff at home, I'm kind of savvy with my computer. But if I have something that's hindering me from moving forward, I'm gonna go to him and pick his brain about it. Even Brian, my first guest on the show, he was able to teach me a bit about producing beats and producing music, and that helped me, to for editing some of these podcasts in the future. I want to do more of that. And it's all about who around you is in your circle that you trust and who is going to help move you forward. And it's not like you're taking handouts, but it's more like, who what resources do I have to build myself up here?